This is the Bekah Scout of Bekah Scout Photography. This is Rebekah. This is Rebekah.
Bekah and Rebekah are in a boat.
Bekah falls out. Who's left?
It doesn't quite work, but it's the same idea. I don't know what to do with my hands. I take pictures. I'm a mom. I like the Muppets. I used to cry about Elton John in the grocery store when I was a child.
See, you just nailed it.
Paul Blart.
Can you do like a little
Segue.
What is your journey to photography?
What, 2?
Yeah,
How early do you want me to go back?
all the way.
Well, I was born on August. No, we'll fast forward a little bit.
I'm gonna need another beer.
Yeah, we're gonna be here a minute. Lock the door. Well, I've always just liked anything arts. I grew up just coloring on any surface I could. Did dance, theater, all that, and then taking pictures just kind of fell into my lap. I started doing it because it was fun, artsy, I think I did what every person who's interested in photography does, where you get as close as you can to anything sitting in front of you. So I know that I have old pictures of just close-ups of the threads of my jeans, just oh, ooh, that's cool. That looks really cool.
Well, abstract art there, and you're super good at it.
Very cool. I mean, that's why you have me here.
Right.
Always been so cool.
That's right.
But I think that I kind of was slingshot further into just really loving it. After my grandma had passed away, we found old film slides from old cameras of hers, and they were because she was a flight attendant, and so she traveled a lot, and she had all of these, and I'd never seen them before, and I really didn't know a lot of stories from then either, and so it was just, I don't have the whole story, but it was fun to kind of imagine
Right.
where she was, what she was doing, just based off of those little slides. And so I got into it more. It became more personal.
So they're
to
just
me.
candid shots. It was candid shots from her travels and that kind of thing.
And there's one of her in this cute little outfit, and she's sitting, a friend had to have taken it for her, because she's sitting on the edge of a bed, and her hair's all done up, she's getting ready to go out, and she's wearing red lipstick. She's just looking off camera, and it's so beautiful. And I think of that picture all of the time.
That's cool. Sounds iconic.
Yeah, and I've always wanted, because it's just a little dinky
Right.
film square, and I've always wanted to it's not even a negative. They're just teeny little
I think
prints,
I've seen those
so
before.
that you could put them into a projector.
Right. And shine
To
light
show
through
them
or
bigger.
whatever. So is there any way you can develop that thing?
I don't know. I would go in with my camera and just get really up close pictures, and so that's how I've gotten it
I see.
bigger, because I just took a picture of the picture. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. I'm sure there is a way,
Right.
but I just have never looked into doing that. But yeah, I consider that when it became more of a passion,
Right.
than just oh, here's just another way that I can make things.
Yeah.
And I really like digital photography because I'm really impatient, and so I can just do all of that really fast.
Nice.
And it doesn't take as long as film or a pencil drawing or something like that. So it quickly became my favorite medium.
So you're young enough that probably as you came up in photography, digital was there, right? Okay. So
Oh, yeah,
have you ever
for
messed
sure.
with film and that or not?
not in a real way. No, like I have film cameras, but they're not ones where, I mean, like everything on them is like automatic, and I've never really felt the desire to like dive into that. So yeah, I mean, I kind of messed with film in high school more. I think I did. Like I had an actual one, but I don't know what the hell I was doing because I mean at that point I was just in like automatic settings and stuff on my digital camera too. And my grandma actually helped me buy my first camera, so she gave me a loan, and that's why
So that was pre like high school age.
Yeah, it would have been the summer before my senior year of high school.
Okay.
But I had some like point and shoots, and then like it was another point and shoot, but it had like a bigger lens, so I felt like a big dog. It was a Fujifilm.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I want to do like the real deal. And they don't even sell that camera anymore. It was a Nikon D40. So
Baby's vintage then.
Yeah.
Gotta wear some coin.
I don't know about it being worth much, but it's they don't make it anymore, so not from what I've seen.
That's awesome.
Because I'm like, I don't have like a battery charger for it anymore. I still have the camera, but I'm like,
So it's effectively defunct.
Yeah.
Wall decor. Nice. So then when did you like start going into like transition from buying your first camera senior year to like I guess launching? I don't think you really ever launched a business. You just kind of like slid into it.
Yeah.
Probably, huh?
Just kind of stumbled my way in because I love taking pictures of people. Actually, my sister Pam was my first victim.
I know this story, but you have to keep telling it.
And she's like, I've always thought that she was just like the most beautiful thing ever since she was a little baby. So I'm like, perfect. You look like an angel. Let's do this. And we would get into our older sister's like prom dresses and stuff, and put them on her. And she would pose really dramatically. We had this big, like, tree log in our backyard that kind of like pointed up, kind of like Pride Rock. And I've got some really good pictures of her on the end of that, like the wind blowing in her hair. And she's like 6. And I had her doing all these like insane, like, it's so stupid. My favorite one, she's like in a prom dress that's humongous on her because again she's 6, and she's just sitting, and I didn't crop her toes out, and of course I'm using like flash straight on, and so the lighting is like really bad. It's like really harsh on her face. We of course did her makeup.
Oh yeah.
Because they were glamour shots, so you have to do that. Right. But like her toes are like huge at the front of the camera, and they're like so bright, and she's like in the background. Yeah, so I got a lot of practice with her, and then
Nothing cringy from those years looking back. There's
no, they're actually
cringy,
they're
like,
really good. Actually,
embarrassing things.
I've thought about maybe doing a art gallery with them.
It's fantastic.
They're really, really
That's
good.
fantastic.
Yeah, they're really good.
I would invest in that if it was, as long as we could expose it to like thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, there really is something. There's something. But after some practice, most of it being on her, and then I had some friends who I'd say I had an idea, and they'd, let me take pictures of them with that idea. Or I worked on self-portraits a lot, and I learned a lot about like light doing that. And then eventually I stopped being really bad and started being less bad, and had enough people who cared about me, who gave me chances, and so I just kept going.
That's awesome. So when is there any photo or shoot or moment that stands out that you got like was the turning point where you got enough positive feedback or like even from yourself that was like, okay, this is a good shot. Like I can do this. I need to keep doing this.
Yeah. I got hired. I'd been doing pictures for, like, everybody makes a Facebook page. And a girl that I had never met, and she was from like an hour away, had reached out to me. And then I felt, I don't know, like the pressure was on, because I was like, this is like a real client. It's not like somebody I know who I can be like, oh my gosh, this was really bad.
Right.
Let's do it again.
Like imposter syndrome too. You're like, can I do this?
Yeah,
like,
and
am I
that
good enough
does
to do
not
this?
go away. So, but I remember just like, I probably drugged my sister out and about with me, because I was like, I want to make sure like all of my locations are perfect, and like that the light is perfect, and like all this stuff. And I remember when I finished that session that I was like, oh, like I can really do this. Like I gotta put the work in, but like I can do this if I keep working at it,
That's awesome. Fantastic. So when did you, like, when is this? Like, when did you launch your first official?
My Facebook page?
Okay. Yeah, your official Facebook page.
2009.
2009. That doesn't seem that long ago to me. It's like, but
It's because it wasn't,
It's a
and
long
we're
time.
very young. I was very young. Yeah, so if I'm 22 now, how old does that make me?
yeah, you've been single digits.
I was a genius academically. I was a senior in high school. But yeah, I was like in my senior year of high school when I would have started like a Facebook page and just like posting all the BS that I would take pictures of, including my pants. So I was like, can you guys get this close to your pants? I can. So, I don't know. Yeah, but I mostly was doing like seniors, and then I do family pictures. I mean, God bless my sisters, because I was always doing pictures of them. And then I'd say it was probably like 4 or 5 years later before I was like,
Had the confidence to at least like fake it.
and I mean, it wasn't even that. It's just, it was skill to where I'm like, I really took to hello? I like was really taking the time to like really know what I was doing.
I was just thinking of your excerpt reels, because with your
My
sorry.
bloopers.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
why.
so stay
Sorry
there.
to happen.
You're really taking the time.
I feel like I'm doing way less bloopers
You are.
because I
That was
am
only your
talking to
first
someone and
blooper.
not myself.
Right, that's really hard.
First blooper. Okay.
So you're really taking the time.
Yeah, mostly just because, and I've gotten better with age. Just because something turns out doesn't mean that you're doing it right.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yep.
Because I'm like, especially with photography, you're put into a million different lighting situations, spaces, like reflective surfaces, like.
Yeah, there's like no two clicks that are probably ever the same. Potentially.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
It's like snowflakes.
Yeah, so cute. But yeah, I was really just like BSing for a while, and I was like, I've got to stop doing that, because I would see photographers that I admire, and I'm like, I know that they are doing much more than I am, and I don't know what it is, so it's time to like really lock in. And so, yeah, I'd say like 2013, I think, is when I really like started taking strides. I think just like professionally, just with skill, creatively, I think I really started to kind of find my way.
And like digging into the technical aspects
Yes.
and like being able to duplicate this or that or
Right.
the other.
Yep. Yeah. And I will say the only benefit of me BSing for so long was that I think I can do everything on Photoshop.
Yeah. It's kind of like when I like.
I can do anything on Photoshop.
That's nice.
Because I was like, I have to fix this. It's really bad. And then I would just, I'd find a way.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of like when I was younger and I would weld. I'd build like a little project at home on the weekends. And my comment always was like, can't weld worth a shit, but I can grind with the best of them. Like, you just fix everything afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I've learned it's better to just get it right in camera. Because you don't need to be taking an hour on every picture to edit in Photoshop. Yeah. It's my editing time has gone down significantly.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm like, I know what I'm doing now. Stopped BSing after a few years.
Cool.
Like really
Cool.
Really
Well,
went for it.
I will say about you, like we've worked together, and I have an artistic bone in my body, though I don't know I've ever taken the time to like perfect or become an expert at anything. But I do have appreciation for like aesthetic and visual imagery and well done stuff. And it's so accessible in today's world, like with Instagram and just the internet in general. And so you see a lot of it, and you see a lot of really good stuff, and you see a lot of fakey, like fake it till you make it stuff. And I will say one thing I've always said about you is there's something like I've got friends and lots of acquaintances that are photographers and that dabble in photography. And like a lot of, I think your skill is just innate. There's nothing like, I'm sure you've made strides and learned along the way, but there's something God-given in you with your ability to capture light and capture just fantastic imagery that is kind of second to none in my book.
Thank
and
you.
I think that was one thing when we were working together at Handlebend that people would ask like how we do the social, and it's always so good and everything. And that was one thing I would say about you is that, and then I would follow it up with I would put her toe to toe with any photographer in the world, and we're just lucky she just so happens to choose to live in small town Nebraska. And our paths went separate ways after Handlebend, and you chose to stick around, and I think that's fantastic. I mean, it's no secret that I'm really proud of O'Neill and like our small town roots and my upbringing and childhood, and it's why I moved back here to raise my family here. And so I was just kind of curious about your thoughts on that and why you choose to do your thing in O'Neill, Nebraska.
When I really look at it, I'm like, this town has been like such a huge part of why I am able to do what I do. I've had people believe in me over and over again. I've been able to meet just people where you won't find them anywhere else. And like getting to tell people's stories and preserve memories, moments, images of people, just so they can remember that, or because those people aren't with us anymore, or not with us in the same way because they got sick or something like that. Just knowing that like I get to be a part of something so precious with people that we're so intertwined with each other. It's not like I'm never gonna see them again.
Right.
You know, like I see them when I go to the grocery store, and I don't know, it's like, it really is just like a huge honor to be like trusted with those moments. And I know sometimes it's just it's an update for the year, you know, we've got to get a picture of the kids, like, but I mean, if people are like me, they look at pictures from 2 weeks ago of their kids and cry. So I'm like, why are you big? You were like so small, and now you're big. But yeah, I mean, like I know a lot of that is updates and things like that, but especially in the past year, I've been asked to photograph some like very important things, that I don't take it for granted that I was asked to do them, because they're photos that like were taken so that those people could be remembered as they were on
Right.
that day.
Like high stakes for you to get it right.
Yeah, and to be trusted to do that is, I mean, there's no words for it. Like
Right.
I can't think of any words.
That's
to
like the
describe.
highest regard
Yeah.
of your job. That's pretty cool. That's kind of a beautiful thing, and I think that I'm not saying that aspect isn't there in a city of 100,000 or 1 million people, but it's kind of a part of, I think, rural Nebraska and rural America. Like, there are deep family histories here, and our families are all intertwined, and there are memories around every corner, and that kind of sense of place becomes a piece of you. And then, like, all the people that are experiencing the history of that place or have experienced the history of that place with you are a big part of your life. And I can only imagine that you feel more able to capture a great image or a great memory or tell someone's story via pictures better when you do have a connection, a personal connection with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of a nice perspective. I like
Yeah.
that.
And I mean, I think it's true for, it's, again, like you said, it's not that it doesn't happen in like big cities, but when someone in a small town needs something, they're going to get the help that
Right.
they need. And I mean, like, I've seen it countless times. Just somebody struggling, or
People come together
Yeah.
and
they do.
and problems just get solved.
Yep. Yep. Or there's people who are together to make the problems easier to deal with. You know,
Right.
like, yeah.
Support system, and there's an aspect of kind of it takes a village regarding the kids. Like, you know, I as my kids get a little bit older, I know full well that if they're downtown screwing around and acting the way they shouldn't be, like, I will hear about it before they get
Right.
home. I guarantee it. You know. And
There's
that's-
always eyes.
Right. Yeah. So, man,
Should I like that or not?
that is kind of the two main pieces I want to go into, and I don't have a segue to further, I guess, spur you on the small town thing. Do you have any thoughts?
A segue? Or-
Well, just like anything like that's in your heart regarding that like you want to get out, or regarding like your photography or your journey to where you're at in photography right now, or storytelling.
I
like,
just love people, damn it. I love to meet people, and I love to get to know them and watch how they interact with each other, and I don't know, I just love people, and that's why, like, I always say, I'm so bad at I can't take a picture of a sunset.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I can,
Right.
but it's not like a picture of a sunset the way that people who take pictures of sunsets do it.
Right.
Like, I love to photograph people and dogs. Love dogs. But like, it's people, and
That's what life is. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you're there's a reason that people just go crazy if they're alone. It's all about the, I guess, interconnectedness and our stories of the human experience, and that just absolutely involves other human beings. And I like that that's the way you look at photography is, you know, you're just kind of helping to tell stories, and the people aspect of it is the biggest thing.
yeah, and I just like want to be able to capture how like vibrant like each person is, just like in their own way.
from very early on that your best photography is candid photography. And you can tell someone to walk down a sidewalk and you just kind of hang out, and I don't know how you get to the right place at the right time, but you always grab the shot that like embodies that person just as they are. And I think that's probably your greatest skill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Means a lot.